y'all want to know how I know? Y'all want to
that?
know how I know that's false though? Y'all want to know how I know that black folks trust each other?
What, Sweeney? Are
Oh,
you
y'all,
serious?
I'm about to explain. I'm about to explain. You
Are
want to know
you
how I know?
serious?
Hold on, I'm about to explain. I'm about to explain. You want to know how I know that we trust people? That we trust each other? Dr. Umar Johnson been raising money in the black community for goddamn what happened? The whole Black Wall Street project that wound up becoming a goddamn scam. Black folks get scammed by black people every single day. We trust.
And we
Sweeney.
get burnt.
And we
Sweeney,
get burnt.
you just gonna disregard everything I just said.
I'm just
natural
and that's
African
tell me I'm
American.
lying.
It's like,
Tell me I'm lying.
it's like you cannot help. You
can't
cannot
agree
help
with the truth.
yourself.
But
You
Tell me I'm
cannot
lying.
help
But
yourself.
to his point, he just proved us right with that. He just proved us right with what he just said.
But
He just
can
proved
I add?
that
I want to.
there's
Can I
black
add to
people
her
trust
point?
all the time.
What are you saying? So basically, what you're saying is there's still dummies in society that's gonna support black people, even though we're getting taken advantage of. That's
No,
what
it
you're.
wasn't.
That's what you're saying.
No. That Black Wall Street project, people really believed in it, and they gave him millions of dollars. They trusted him, and millionaires trusted him. Regular black folks trusted him, and they got scammed out of their millions.
That's one situation, and I just gave you
But
seven.
it's one, but it's not the only one. Black people do trust people.
They trust celebrities.
Hell, how many times you seen people? We get we
But
we,
wait,
we
I
just
want to
look,
just to build on her point really quick.
Hold on, last thing, DJ. I literally was talking. I'm just say this. I was talking to my brothers today. Every black elite, every black person educated in every sector of Baton Rouge right now, all their kids go to University High, which is Louisiana State University, LSU's lab school. They don't go to Southern's lab school. They go to LSU's lab school, predominantly white, all white. That when we get into a place of influence and money, and we always separate ourselves.
Yep.
The only place that we don't do it in is Atlanta and DC, because they're both predominantly black cities, and all the black elites are together. But every other city and all across the country, when anybody comes to influence and money, we always, like Ruth said, we always separate and move to the opposite side of town. It is what it is. That is the truth. We no longer associate ourselves with outside of our community. If you don't have a direct link to that said person, you are on the outs from whatever they have going on. That's what happens in our community. But go ahead, DJ.
There is
All
a
right, go ahead,
wide.
DJ. Hold
Wait,
on.
DJ.
DJ.
Yes, I'm sorry. So just I wanted to build on what she's saying because she's talking about a common practice that happens a lot in black business, nickel and diming. And it just goes back to the point where you said, well, if you give us money for businesses, we're going to thrive. Well, not necessarily. There are a lot of black people that already had opportunities to run businesses and they squander it with bad customer service, bad business practices, so on and so on. So it's not just the opportunity to get a lump of money, but again, how are you going to execute is what's important. What you do with it is what's important. So we're so busy worrying about the chunk of money, but sometimes be careful what you ask for, because are you ready? Are you ready to do what needs to be done with that money? And again, it goes back to individualism. And it's not just black people. We're set up in this country to be individualists. And it really corrupts our country. I mean, in my humble opinion, it's going to be really hard to even thrive as black people in America. Now, if we took that money and went to other countries that have a better structure just overall for their citizens, like a planned black migration, I think that would be more successful than us trying to thrive in this capitalist society that pushes individualism.
I'm glad you said that, because you know what you can do? We can, even if you go to these suburbs, you can pick a little section, just like Jewish people do, and they all live in this specific set of blocks. We can do that in every community and still have what we want and still do what's good for our people.
We're talking about leaving this country when everybody running to it.
Yes, yes, I am. Have you ever been? Have you ever been to like the Scandinavian countries where they have, universal health care, and they're not poisoning their citizens through the food, and they actually care about what happens to the citizens. There's free education. We talked about Germany. I just went to Germany. Free education. You can go get a higher education right now, completely free. You can go get treated medically for free. When you have that type of structure in your government, it's really a lot easier to grow. But in this society, we are in a caste system. They sell the American dream to us, but we ain't no different than India. In India, they tell you straight up, when you're born into poverty, it's likely you will die in it, and it's the same thing in this country. We're just sold this fake dream.
Well,
True.
well, we wouldn't be in poverty if we got reparations. That kind of would go in the opposite direction. But I digress. I
Yeah, I think we're coming to
What
that.
I think will happen, and I'm gonna make this last statement and we can be done. What I think will happen with reparations is the levels of economy would change. Like the upper class will get stronger because a lot of the money that's coming from the reparations will be dumped into those companies. It'll work similar like the PPP loans or whatever, or the stimulus check to push the economy forward. You give them the money and they put it right back into the companies.
Well,
and
Bruce,
consumer products.
just before you continue
you're not
that,
listening.
there's a reason why there's a part in the reparations movement that talks about protecting the black dollar. There's that portion of that speaks to exactly that thing that you're speaking of, to protect black dollars from being siphoned out of the community in that way. That's why I said the reparations movement is far, and reparations is far larger than just a cash check.
And how though? Like you saying, how is it going to protect it from being siphoned out the community?
Well, there will be like government policies that will say that you can't, you know what I mean? Things like one of the biggest things that they try to use, like payday loans and stuff like that. Those type of things that will siphon money out of the black community, but don't put it back.
You can't buy weave or Brazilian bundles or some shit like that.
No, they're gonna still buy weaves and Brazilian bundles. They ain't gonna stop doing that shit.
So it's just gonna go.
They just gonna own the weaves and Brazilian bundles at that point.
I don't think they're gonna buy them.
About discipline. Discipline is everything when you're handling money. If you don't have discipline when handling money, it's over.
We are consumers. We have a consumer mindset. So if we don't fix that, it's going to be the same thing. Just hand it over.
Hello.
Well, America is a consumer country. Like we can, the whole entire country
separate ourselves. That we don't have to be all 100% Americans. We are
not to mention.
Our own mind.
But I think the biggest issue is just I know Sweeney did say that it would likely be included in the reparations, but I think our biggest issue, period, is financial literacy, because most people don't know what the hell to do with that money, right? Putting it in the bank is not the best idea. Anyway, that is not. You should know where to invest that money, even if it's rather than putting it in the bank. That's a broke person mindset, to put your money in a bank and get that low rate of interest. That's not. Nobody becomes wealthy from putting money in a bank. Saving doesn't make you wealthy. You do not build wealth from saving money. That's only part of it. Not wasting money is one thing, but you have to figure out how to make more money with that money. And most of us who try to invest in a business, it fails. That's a big problem. So we have to understand, like if you're going to start a business, you have to know how to manage that business. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm gonna just throw this out there. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, you can't say, all right, I'm gonna start a restaurant. And then you know how to cook really well, but you don't know how to advertise. You don't know how to market it. You don't know how to make the place a vibe. There's so many different elements that we would need. And that's why I think it's important for us to be able to come together, because you're going to need those outside influences to say, okay, this is my expertise here. This is what I know. Okay, I did this before. This is what I did. This is how I was successful. So the collaboration, I think, is going to be important. And then just understanding, we're going to have to do some studies. A lot of us really need to dig in and know what the hell we're doing with our finances, because we'll get 100,000 and spend 150,000 in our mind already and not even realize that we did that.
Well, reparations ain't meant to make everybody rich. It's not supposed to make the entire black community rich. It's supposed to make the black community basically American. It's supposed to create a middle class American. No, hold on. Listen, it's supposed to Black people in this country are not normal. And I'm about to explain what that means. Black people largely in this country are wealthless. That means majority of black people in this country have no wealth, whereas other communities have classes. It's like in the black community, there's still going to be classes. It's going to be, you're going to have your rich class, you're going to have your robust, large middle class, and you're going to have your poor class. But largely your middle class aren't owning businesses and all of that. Most of them are going to be your regular you're still your regular workers who own homes, 3 to 4 family members, can possibly, you know what I mean, their kids can start a trade or something like that. That's what we're trying to get black people to be normal, be American. Right now, black people can't afford to live in America. And that what reparations is supposed to do is supposed to fix that. It's supposed to close the racial wealth gap to where black people are competitive in a country by our population. We're supposed to hold 13% of the wealth in this country. We don't. We hold less than 2% of the wealth in this country. That is not normal. Whereas the Asian community holds roughly about 6% of the wealth in this country, and they're 6% of the population. That's why they look normal. That's why they can buy normal. That's why they can afford to do, you know what I mean, things that we would look at and be like, damn, I can't get that. So it's not supposed to make all of us rich. It's not supposed to make all of us business owners. It's supposed to make us American.
Has anyone else
it can though.
has anyone else recognized that this country is run by 1%? 1% of the population. We're talking about a handful of families, the Johnsons and Johnsons, the Rockefellers, these people, and they didn't get it through the sweat off their brow and hard work. They got it through hook and crook. So us really thinking that we're going to be able somehow to catch up as the only group in this country that did not migrate here, but we are actually captives and the descendants of captives. It's just, to me, it's just a fleeting dream, but that's just my opinion.
Well, those companies you mentioned, they got their money from
those
slavery.
are families. Those are not just
families
companies
who owe reparations. Those are part of the people that you're going after through the government because they received funds due to slavery as well. The Wells Fargo, different corporations of that nature, the IBMs, and they change names through generations, their corporate names, but they're the ones that were going through the government. We're getting to the government to get to them because they owe the monies. They owe. So we shouldn't say, they have to give us. No, they owe us. It's a debt. We should leave that giving language alone. You're not giving us shit. You owe us. Period. There's nothing to give. You owe. It's a debt. You know what I mean? So I think
I agree with them owing us, but I feel like we're having two different conversations. One conversation is they owe us a debt. The other conversation is how are we moving forward collectively? I don't feel like those two things are necessarily synonymous with one another. It just seems like we're having two different conversations here. You're right. We are owed a debt, 100%. Now, is that going to get is that going to transform our community? Not necessarily.
It would.
I think what you're saying, two conversations, they're the same conversation. You have to move collectively in order to get the debt. You have to move as one in order to get that debt. You can't have separate places. Like, for instance, you have ADOS, and then you have FBA, and then you have these other organizations. They need to get on one accord in order to get that debt paid.
Let me ask you this,
as long
bro.
as everybody's separated, you're not going to get anything.
Let me ask
now, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Rob. What is somebody mentioned transformation. What is more of a transformation? Or what's better? You give black people reparations, or black people figure out how to come together and stop doing drugs and killing each other?
Well, what you're saying is basically a two-step. I mean, first you got to get yourself together. Period. That's first and foremost. You have to first build your family up, heal yourselves. Then you can come together. Then you go and get what's owed. then you can expound on that after. But
Yeah.
first, we have to heal ourselves. We're not healed as a people, and I'm strictly saying as a people, we're not healed in any capacity.
Nope.
You understand? So, in order to reach out and become one, we all have to be truly healed and say, look, now that we're healed, we understand our faults, we understand our shortcomings, we understand our divisiveness within each other in our families. Once we heal all that, then we can come together as a whole group and say, look, y'all owe us. Y'all got to pay or else. Simple as that.
And then also, I would say, Bruiser, first and foremost, like somebody said in the chat, both of those are things that could transpire at the same time. Like that, you don't mean it's not even one or the other. But if we think about it, first of all, most black people ain't killing each other, and most black people ain't drug addicts and doing, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. I know that wasn't your point. Also, black people coming together and pooling our money together is a solution to close the racial wealth gap. Right? That is a solution to do that. If you give black folks reparations, they don't need to do that because we would have the wealth to be able to do what we need to do in this country. We wouldn't need to pull our money together because all of us would have the money to do what we need to do. The whole point of reason why people suggest pulling our money together is because it's a solution to, man, all of us ain't got no houses, so how can we get some land? Hey, well, shit, you give me your 10 bands, I put my 10 bands up, and you put your 10 bands up, we can finally buy a pile of land. But if I get reparations and you get reparations and he get reparations, we can buy our own damn plot of land and we don't need to pull our money together.
But
and we won't work together either.
What they're trying to argue is people will misuse their money. And like you were saying, the brother Law was saying, at least 40% of us will be responsible. But still, we got to be responsible about the other 60% that threw their money away because they're going to come right to us. We know how it is. And even in our families, I'm doing well in my family. Everybody's going to come to me for finances. Oh, man, I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. Soon you're going to be looking around like everybody owes me and I need help.
I don't agree with Law that, well, I think he was being hyperbolic when he said, let's just say for the sake of argument. Yeah. I think majority of black people would do right with their money. Like, even if they, hold on, wait. Understand what I'm saying. Even if that is only just paying off their loans and buying a home, that is doing right with your money. You become an owner in this country. That is doing right with your, like, not everybody is meant to go.
Did they did with the PPP loans or no?
Sweetie, they're gonna go into more debt.
Well, first, most black people didn't get PPP.
Y'all not hear what Trev said.
For the first
and on top of that, PPP loans, a lot of them were scamming to get that money.
Okay, they'll pay off their debts for the first week. All debts are cleared. Then with the rest of the
take out another loan.
They're gonna go into debt.
Going right back into it. Stuff. Yeah, going right back into it.
That's the step that Sweeney is missing. And I think it's better. I think we'll be more stronger as a community if we put our money together and work together versus get reparations. I think putting our money together and working together as a unit is way stronger than getting a lump sum check.
Hey, Darwin, what's the saying about making strong men and hard times create easy times create weak men? What's the saying?
Yeah,
that's how you build a community.
What we're talking about though, like y'all got to remember what PPP loans were supposed to be meant for.
He didn't want to address that. He didn't want to address that.
My bad, because I really didn't hear it, but I'm gonna be real with y'all because I was looking at what PPP loans were meant for. Businesses to be able to pay their employees. So the people who were getting PPP loans, a lot of them people were scamming. So I don't expect scammers to do right with their money.
Not everybody was.
You know what I got from this conversation is that the most people who argue about reparations sound like they just want some money so they can buy them a yacht or some shit.
Who said that? What person did you talk to that said that?
Y'all motherfuckers ain't trying to
build did you talk to?
Y'all ain't trying to build no community. You want to go get that X6?
Darwin, seriously.
You want to go get the Cuban link? You want to go and get you some nickel plated T-liners so you can cut some hair. That's what your ass want to do. You don't want to goddamn fix shit.
If I got my reparations, I will buy my barbershop.
and take shots with Al Sharpton and all the motherfuckers. That's
Bruiser. What person did you talk to said that they wanted to go buy a yacht with their reparations?
Come on, man.
Yeah, but
I'm just exaggerating, bro. You ain't gotta surgically dissect everything I said.
Because he's trying to win.
You can't make that type.
To your point, though, you have a barbershop. You're already doing it, so it makes sense that you would buy your building.
No, I'm not.
Right?
I'm renting a suite.
You're not trying to understand. It's okay. You have a
I know, but you're saying I have a barbershop. I don't have a barbershop. I have a suite.
But you started the idea. You have clients. You have a functioning business. What I'm saying is you're already doing the proper behaviors. If we're not doing the proper behaviors before you get reparations, you're not going to change all of a sudden magically when you have a check.
What is the proper behavior? What is the proper behavior?
Hey, no, you know what it is? Take me back to college when I used to watch all them students get all them Pell Grants. And you know what they did? They weren't buying food. They weren't buying the thing and books and the stuff that they needed. You know what they're doing? Going ball out at the club, going spend all that money in the mall, going straight to New Orleans to Canal Place, getting all the labels so they can come to school with Gucci bags and Louis belts.
Hold on. The throwback jerseys. Remember the throwback jerseys?
Yeah, and all of that stuff.
With the flip.
They were not
the bicolor do-rag with the
care of themselves and doing the right thing with the large sums of money.
Like I said earlier, in my 20s, that's what I did with my Pell Grant.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Wait, but I got a daycare with mine, and that's what I'm saying. People are already going to do what they're going to do.
Yep.
Exactly.
We're 8 people. We're 7 people on this panel. All of us. Bruce, what would you do with your reparations?
I plead the fifth.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm not gonna tell you what I do.
Alcohol, what would you do with your reparations?
Money, none of that stuff.
I'm investing it.
Casey, what would you do with your reparations?
Yeah, it'll be invested in some type of way. Yeah. I hadn't even thought about it.
Y'all gonna invest in a white man stock?
JR, what would you do with your reparations?
I'm gonna set myself up for residual income.
We should.
What would you do with your reparations?
Buy 30 acres first off, then build me a small little enclave community. Put my family in it so we can be secluded from the rest of society when it goes under. Also. You know, my stuff is more extreme. I have a whole cashier weapon.
You gonna follow the category of the
military.
You gonna follow that?
You gonna get a bunker?
Grid category.
Getting a bunker.
Yeah, most definitely. You gotta have that bomb shelter, baby. Because once black folks get money, white folks gonna get nervous because they gotta compete. So something odd is about to happen.
Okay, I'll tell you what I do with my money.
Go ahead.
I think we should all have to spend your money in a black place, like a black owned business. That's the only way it's going to circulate. But I would spend my money just investing in land and things like that, just business.
Wait, Ruth, what you mean have to spend your money within a black place? Please give me some insight on that.
If we would have to set it up, we would have to, if you could only spend your money with black people, right? Even if we had the mindset, if it wasn't possible, okay, but 25% of your money had to be spent with a black person, then we would do better than just getting a check and just having no strategy.
Bruh. Okay, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. I would try to position myself as the head of a committee that has, like, everybody in the group has gotten reparations. And what percentage? Somebody said the percentage of population black people take up in America. How much is it? 10, 13?
It's like 13.
So 13. Okay. What is 13? Okay. 13% of the country, the land belongs to us. We buy out all the land.
Oh no, we already get that. No, we already going to get that. That comes with it.
Okay, so we get 13% of the land.
13% of the land. We're gonna get 13% of some checks. That all comes with it. You already got the land.
Let me guess, y'all choose San Francisco and Atlanta.
Yeah, what's the problem with
all
that?
the little LGBT little states. No, hell no. We going somewhere we ain't never been, going to Idaho or some shit. We need to get the hell on away from all of the little major cities.
Yep.
Go
to Montana. Go to Nebraska.
A billboard with a goddamn Birkin on that motherfucker, and everybody gonna change their damn mind. We need to go there with some nice land with some cows and shit.
Wait,
I'm not moving
wait,
to a
one of the
flyover state,
governors,
bro.
one of the governors is actually giving money for people to come out there right now. I'm not sure what state it is. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
Chat. What would y'all do with y'all reparations check?
Yeah, man. I mean,
give me some.
Look what Mark Cuban.
How much is the check? First of all, that's the question.
And his brothers did.
Well, if you're thinking about closing the racial wealth gap, right? Because basically, there's about 130-something trillion dollars in national wealth. So at 137 trillion, you get 13% of black folks. You're looking at what? Maybe like, what is that? 20 trillion between a bunch of black folks. So 20 trillion divided by 40 million black people, roughly. Can somebody do math on that?
Yeah, but just play.
Oh, I gotta pull up the calculator because it's that number too big for my phone. So we looking at 20 trillion.
You gotta get your iPhone 15 in.
Or just an Android.
What if all that money, everybody get like $200 or some shit?
That's possible.
We still ain't gonna put our money together. We could at least listen.
If 40, I think that's 20 trillion. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. That's billion.
We also got to remember the reparations is also, with the ADOS, is built off lineage. So you have to prove.
Yeah. You is gonna have to prove that you.
You have to go back.
We're going hypothetical because I don't qualify for that anyway.
Yeah, I'm just doing hypothetical. It ain't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that everybody here.
I'm not getting it. Yeah.
My babies are.
Wait.
There's gonna be some.
Nah. You at least have one parent
isn't it
that's
your
ADOS,
lineage?
then you qualify.
One parent. Yep.
All you need is one parent.
And they better not give it to the addict. One more thing about this reparations thing. Did y'all forget about BBLs and veneers and all that shit? That's where that money going to. BBLs, veneers, and them goddamn sexy red goddamn season tickets. I'm telling you, bro. You forgot about social media. I'm telling you, forgot about feminism, bro.
Yeah, we didn't talk nothing about social media.
If black folks was to get reparations, right?
Niggas gonna be 6 feet tall.
No. You asked the question. You said, where would that put black people? You said, where would that put
go
black
to the
people?
league with them goddamn fake legs.
Bruiser, if black people were to get reparations, we'd be the wealthiest group in the country per capita. I mean, per person.
For an hour. And we gonna be broke. We gonna be rich as 6 and broke at 8.
The doctors and dentists will be the richest people in the country.
Have y'all read?
We gonna break the record for spending the most money in the universe.
Surgeons hit a lick is what is gonna happen.
They're gonna make a goddamn movie on us, bro.
Well, listen, the only way
when we get reparations, all the white folks all the other races gonna open their doors.
So you saying that if most black people got their money, it'll just be squandered. Is that what you're saying? If most black people will squander their money.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they're not unless they think that
treasury system.
They ain't giving it to us. If they were hoping we would fail like that, then we would be likely to get it because it would.
We'll get it exactly.
Because it would then be a stimulus at that point because it would absolutely stimulate the economy.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they believe, if we could get them to believe that, then we got a great likelihood of getting it.
You know what's crazy? We got 7 black folks up here, and 7 black people on this panel said they would do something smart with their money, but I can see if some of us said some ignorant shit.
We on the record.
Okay, you know what? Listen, I can go to
what that tells me is that Bruiser will spend his money on a yacht. When he get his $500,000, he gonna his wife gonna get her $500,000. He gonna get his $500,000, and they gonna go and blow their check on the yacht. That's what he's doing.
Bruiser going right to the nudie bar. That's what's happening.
He going right to the city bar. He about to drop $300,000.
I'm gonna get a yacht and I'm buying an island and I'm living on that motherfucker.
I know you guys started off with Thomas Sowell. Did y'all go into Dr. Claude Anson?
Yeah, he's better.
Because he broke it down.
Nope.
Yeah. We need to do that next week.
They disingenuous to those type. When leaders get on here, man, we kind of like instead of looking at the points, we got a habit of just
No, we respect Claude
discrediting
Anderson
them.
now. With Dr. Claude Anderson.
Dr.
We
Claude
respect
Anderson,
him.
and he broke it down, and he foretold what's going on now is actually what he said would happen if we didn't come together. He said that exactly.
And he talked about where we was at before we integrated.
Yep.
And Sweeney didn't believe. Like their stats. If you got to look at the real history, man. They don't want you to know that we were doing very well when we were working together. When we had no choice to work together. We had no choice to buy from each other.
And one more thing for me, I think we should have mandatory financial literacy classes before they release your check.
Yes,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I shouldn't have to. Just like I wouldn't.
At least a crash course.
I don't agree with that.
Run
me my check. I don't want no class.
You don't think that the outcome would be a lot better if we did?
We should.
I don't think that. I think it could be an option. I don't think it should be a requirement.
When people getting a grant to buy a house, they sit through all the 4 hours of the class. They go.
But this ain't a grant.
Man, we used to have we had sex education in school. And
if I owed you some money and I told you, if I owed you some money and I came up there and said, "Hey, look, before I pay you this money, I'm gonna require you to."
But this is
I'm gonna require you to.
But it could be internal.
No, it's a debt owed. Somebody owes us.
I get what you're saying, but we don't have to just do things. We can create ideas, structures, committees to say, hey, as Black people, this is what we want to do together. We gonna.
But I don't think it should be a requirement. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it should.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, if you're saying that once we get it, there should be an idea of what we do with the money fair. Yeah. But I don't think it should be a requirement to get it.
Not them.
No, it need to be a requirement because you just said you can't trust a nigga. It need to be a requirement.
What you do with your money?
No,
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do with my money.
You should care.
Follow for your scam.
You should
care.
Try to
see Bruce gonna try to scam the community.
You should care. You know why you should care?
Bruce gonna try to scam the community.
You know why you should? You know why you should care what I do with my money? Because I can take my money and I can buy a whole bunch of dope and sell it to the motherfuckers who ain't passed the check to test to see if they was a descendant. Because you know the motherfuckers gonna be in pain. They gonna need a heal. I'm like, go ahead and take this drug and listen to this hip hop.
Just put it in the song.
And I'm gonna become a multi-billionaire.
Hey, if
no.
I was still being multi-billionaire. Hey, that's what it is. What it is. I don't care what you do with your money.
I'm gonna make my own party last night, and I didn't have a birthday party for my show or around my birthday. Y'all had a birthday party.
I know Casey gonna do right with her money. I know Smooth gonna do right with his money. I know JR gonna do right with his money.
Casey, what you saying?
You know
I know Raw gonna do right with his money.
You didn't hear me?
I'm gonna do, Sweeney? I know that 40% of the Black people done went to the title loan company and they done pound their title off. I'm gonna buy all their titles and sell it to them motherfuckers for double. That's what I'm gonna do.